Well, I guess this is it.
Yeah. One way or another, this case gets decided today.
Phoenix, look!
Prosecutor Edgeworth. I received a call from the public prosecutor's office yesterday. He told me that whatever Mr. White says today, it will be the absolute truth. No matter how you try to attack his testimony, if I raise an objection, I have it on good faith that the judge will listen to me. Does White have the judge in his pocket too? So, you're saying I'm going to be guilty? End of story? I will do anything to get my verdict, Mr. Wright. Anything.
Why? Why? How can you torment an innocent person like this?
Innocent? How can we know that? The guilty will always lie to avoid being found out. There's no way to tell who is guilty and who is innocent. All that I can hope to do is get every defendant declared guilty. So I make that my policy. Edgeworth. You've changed.
Phoenix, you know him?
Don't expect any special treatment, Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix?
Well, the court will be opening for session soon.
What? But wait! Your defense attorney isn't even here yet! He's not...
I'll be defending myself.
What?!
Okay, let's do this.
This court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Phoenix Wright.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, are you sure you're up to doing this?
Yes, Your Honor. I will be defending myself.
Understood. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please.
As the details of the event are quite clear to the court, today we will hear the testimony of another witness to the defendant's crime.
I see. The prosecution may call its witness.
That went far too smoothly. Why didn't the judge ask Edgeworth why his witness didn't testify before? It's like he already knows why. If anyone's gonna raise an objection about this, I suppose it's me. Yeah, we'll go ahead. Mr. Edgeworth, you owe an explanation to the court. Why didn't this witness testify in the trial against Miss Maya Fey? I'm ever so sorry. Mr. White is a busy man, and besides, at the time I thought that Miss May's opinion was all that would be needed. Again, my sincerest apologies to the court.
Excellent, Mr. Edgeworth. I appreciate your demeanor.
Great. Gets to show off and I get nowhere. I would like to call Mr. Red White to the stand. Please state your full name. You wish to know the title of my personage? Your name. Yes, that's what I said. Oh dear, do my locutions confuse? Name. These two are great together. My name is Red White, but my friends call me Blanco Nino. And I am the CEO, or to use a more common term, the president of Blue Corp. Did you know the victim, Miss Mia Fey? That would be a negatory. No, I did not. You were at the Gate and Water Hotel the night of the murder. Correct. And you witnessed the murder from there. Why tell you what you already know?
Very well, Mr. White. You may begin your testimony.
If I can rip this guy's testimony apart, I'm done for. Why do I always feel like it's the end of the world and I'm the last man standing? Oh. I hope you've made your peace with God, Mr. Lawyer.
Let him have it, Phoenix.
Oh yeah, Maya's here as my assistant, I guess. Let's see, it was about 9, I believe. I was quietly perusifying, that's reading to you, some papers by the window. Then I heard a bedlam coming from outside. Surprised, I turned to look at the building across the way. It was then I saw him, a spiky-haired man attacking a woman with long hair. Needless to say, that man was none other than you, Mr. Lawyer. I called Miss May over at once. She too was flabbergasted, of course. The victim, she ran away, but you gave chase. Finally, there was a terrible impaction. Then it was all over.
If things occurred as you testify, then I'm afraid the defendant is guilty. Very well, defendant. Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Hold it! How do you know what time it was? Because I'm always absolutely perfect, you know? No, you're not getting away with that. You're so mistrusting, Mr. Lawyer. So, what was the proper term for secretary again? Anyway, Miss May ordered room service for 9 o'clock. It happened soon after the room service arrived. That's what Miss May said, too. True, the bellboy who brought the coffee saw Miss May. But he testified that he did not see you at the time. This is your concern? Silly lawyer, Miss May received the coffee outside the room. Of course he could not see me. He would need X-ray vision to pull off something like that. Tell us, what were you doing at that time? Great. By window, you mean the one directly across from the Fay and Company law office. Correct! That is the only window you see. And there you were reading papers? Correct! The Gatewater is a businessman's hotel, and I'm a busy man who has business to do. A bedlam? It must have been when you attacked, I assume. We see. Continue. Short and sweet, I suppose. So you were reading your papers until you heard that sound. But of course, I'm no snoop peeping out of windows at night. No snoop? Yeah, right. You made a career out of snooping. Spiky-haired? That's all? Great. What you just said directly conflicts with Miss May's testimony. Miss May clearly stated the assailant looked like a girl. I've always been proud of my eyesight, Mr. Lawyer. So what is your eyesight? Counting both eyes, 40. 40? Don't add them together.
I think the witness is trying to say his eyesight is good.
Hey, whose side is the judge on anyways? And what did you do then? What was Miss May doing at that time? She had just finished watching a soap opera on the TV and was weeping openly. Did you know she'd been tapping the Fay office phone? Irrelevant. That has nothing to do with the case at hand. I care not. I'll answer the lawyer's bold inquiry. Miss May was acting alone when she tapped the phone of this Fay woman. You make a good politician, Mr. White. Oh, after all, I am El Presidente.
Please continue.
Hold it! Can you be a little more detailed about that? I think it's worth knowing exactly what happened. Of course! Comprende! I understand. The victim was attacked by you and ran to the left. You gave chase and struck her down. Are you sure? As you know, I am always absolutely perfect.
Perhaps you could change your testimony to reflect this new detail.
Alright, this calls for a good ol' save state. And... Objection! And that's why we save state. I'll just press it this time. Hold it! Are you sure about that? How many times must I say it? I'm absolutely perfect. End of story. How many times must I hear that?
Psst, Phoenix. Doesn't something about that strike you as a little odd?
Alright, so, something to know about these games. It's always the added testimony, so we just need to find out what about it is. Yeah. What about it? Here we go, that's the one. Objection! Wait right there! Mr. White, you've dug your own grave. What is this? You said the victim ran to the left. But that directly contradicts Miss May's testimony. She clearly stated that the victim ran right. Oh ho ho! It is simple. You've misheard her. I think not. Look at the floor plans. Oh, come on, I presented those earlier. The killer was here. And the victim here. If the victim ran to the left, as you claim she did, she would have been running directly away from the door. She would have been running into a dead end. Don't you find that odd? Very strange. I did see her run to the left. I did.
Phoenix, look at his face. I don't think he's lying about this one.
True. Maybe he really did see the victim run left. So he did witness the killing. Wait a second.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss May says right and Mr. White says left. Can you explain this contradiction to the court?
I'm gonna say Mr. White's right. As Mr. White testified, Mia ran to the left.
But if that's the case, why would she run in the opposite direction from the door?
She did not. She was running towards the door, Your Honor. Now you're the one making a contradiction, Mr. Wright. Not at all. Obviously, the witness was not viewing the crime from the hotel.
Mr. White, right, what do you mean?
Yes, what do you mean he was not viewing the crime from the hotel? If he was not in the hotel, where could he have been? In the law office as a fan company, of course. More specifically, he was standing here. This is where he was. Look, when the victim ran for the door, if he was watching from this point, to him it would appear that she ran to the left. Please, this is no time for jokes and ill taste. That's where the killer was standing.
Order. I will have order. Anyone disturbing the order of this courtroom will be held in contempt. Mr. Wright, what are you suggesting?
Rapscallion! The postulations of the defense are a distortion of the truth, Your Honor.
Indeed, they do seem a bit far-fetched.
Oh, ho, ho. You provide us with so much entertainment, Mr. Lawyer. What now? He's laughing? The hilarity of the moment made me remember something. It appears I've been unclear, and for this I apologize. Mr. Your Honor, might I be allowed to testify once more?
Very well, let's hear your revised testimony.
Good luck. Can't fix a broken testimony, buddy. Miss May's testimony was correct, as was mine. When you assaulted the girl, she ran first to the left. And then you hit her, savagely. That's what I saw. Next, with the last of her strength, she ran to the right. You chased her and delivered the final blow. That is what Miss May saw. You see? You hit her twice. Don't you remember, Mr. Lawyer?
It does seem to make sense. Will you be cross-examining the witness's testimony?
You bet I will. I mean, yes, Your Honor. Hold it! What do you mean by that? That's what I'm about to explain. You Americans, always so impatient. It's not become you. Hey buddy, you're an American too. Hold it! What do you mean first? First? That's what comes before what happens next. You do speak English, right? Please, sit back, relax. I'll try to use simple words for your benefit. First, she ran to the left, and then... Hold on. Hold on, if she ran to the left, you wouldn't be able to see that, right? That's what I'm gonna present. OBJECTION! The answer is, that's not the answer. Hold it! I didn't hit anyone. Now, Mr. Wright. There's no point hiding things from this court. I'm not hiding anything. The prosecution requests that the defense refrain from interrupting the testimony. Mr. Wright, you have been warned. Is he mad at me? Wait, didn't she blow from a blunt object? Yeah, wasn't... Alright, hold on, we're gonna save this one again. Here's what I'm gonna object to. OBJECTION! Mr. White, the victim died from a single blow. What do you have to say to that? Now's my chance to hit him where it hurts. Mr. White, wasn't it you who told this court that you were abso-positively perfect? I will refrain from using this phrase from now on. Your Honor, if you could ask the witness for new testimony. The witness is obviously confused, Your Honor. I would like to request a 10-minute break. Yes, quite. The witness is confused because he's lying. I empathetically request that there be no break, Your Honor. Yeah, we want justice! Don't let him get away. Very well. If the witness would care to revise his testimony. The crowd's on my side. No slipping out of this now, White. Mr. White? Okay. Damn, dude. Tough luck. Well, see, I looked at the other window when I heard that thing fall. Then the next moment I saw Miss Mia run to the left. The killer, you attacked her, but she dodged. And then she turned and ran for the door. Then you did her in with a single blow. Thwap! Thwap indeed. Very well, you may begin the cross-examination. Mr. Your Honor, my stomach, you see, it is hurting. Deal with it. This is almost over. Hold it! You heard that thing fall? What exactly was that thing? Huh? Oh, that? The glass light stand. Right, the one that had fallen over the scene. Phoenix, doesn't something about that strike you was odd? Yeah. Yeah, that is odd. Press further. Mr. White. Huh? What? You're saying you saw the glass light stand? Yes. Then change your testimony to reflect that. Sorry, my bad. Witness will revise his testimony. Okay, of course. And this should be a pretty easy one. Yeah, when you looked. Look my ass. OBJECTION! Mr. White. It was impossible for you to have seen the glass light stand. What? Look at this.
These are the floor plans to the scene of the murder, yes?
Correct, Your Honor. Now, look. If you were to look through the window at the office, this would be the area you would be able to see. Here. Well, note that the stand is not within the visible area. Well, Mr. White? What do you have to say to that?
Velocity.
Mr. White, If you were in the Gatewater Hotel as you claim, you could not have seen the stand before it fell over. In fact, you wouldn't have been able to see it after it fell either. There's no way you could have recognized the broken shards as a glass light stand. So, when did you see the stand, Mr. White? It must have been the moment that it fell. And the only place you could have seen that from is inside the Fey Law offices. In other words, you were at the scene of the crime when the murder took place.
Mr. White?
Mr. White, you did it, didn't you? Your Honor, Miss Mia. Looks like we're about to get our verdict. That's far enough, Phoenix Wright.
What?
Forgot about Edgeworth. Mr. White, I think the time has come. Shouldn't you confess your crime now,
What?
I said you should confess your crime. Ergo, confess that you placed the wiretap.
The wiretap? Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth, explain to the court what you mean by this.
Distinguished members of the court, Mr. White is slightly confused. Allow me to explain. I really don't like the way this is headed. As you know, Mr. White is the CEO of Blue Corps. He ordered his secretary, Miss April May, to tap the law offices of Miss Fay.
What does that have to do with...
Your Honor, the question is, when was the wiretap placed in the office and by who?
No, you wouldn't.
Mr. White, in order to place the wiretap, you went to Miss Fay offices. Am I correct? Correct! You are most correct, Miles!
Give me a break!
Yes, in order to place the wiretap, I breached the Fay & Company law offices. That is when I saw that accursed light stand.
Now I'm confused. Please explain to the court what all this means, Mr. Edgeworth.
Gladly, Your Honor. Mr. Phoenix Wright has made his position quite clear. He's determined that Mr. White knew the glass stand was in the office. He has shown that there was only one time Mr. White could have seen the stand, at the very moment of the murder. Thus, Mr. Wright would like you to believe that Mr. White was the murderer.
I see.
However, it is a fact that Mr. White had been to the office well before the murder took place. He went to place the wiretap. He could have seen the glass light stand then. Ergo, Mr. Phoenix Wright's theory is revealed for the baseless conjecture it is.
Mr. White, you will testify to the court about this wiretap.
Leave it to me. I feel faint.